Hello, my name is Ethan Miller, and today I'm presenting my strength conditioning needs analysis on Australian rugby, or the Australian Rugby League. I chose this because it's one of Australia's most popular and physically demanding collision sports, yet it's still less familiar here in the United States, and the combination of repeated high-intensity efforts, the heavy contact, and the position-specific demands make it a fantastic sport for strength conditioning professionals, and it's also a sport that I'm interested in. Not something that I would play, though. Let's dive in. On this slide, you can see the key physiological demands of National Rugby League in Australia. This is an intermittent, high-intensity collision sport played over two 40-minute halves. Players cover 4,000 to 8,000 meters in totality, with high-speed running ranging from around 513 meters for forwards and up to 926 meters for backs, and an average heart rate of 81 to 84% of the maximum. Aerobic capacity is of vital importance for recovery between efforts and sustaining performance late in the match. Anaerobic capacity powers the repeated sprints, tackles, and accelerations. Strength and power are critical for contact dominance, while speed and agility allow players to defeat and beat defenders and change direction quickly. Forwards rely more on absolute strength and power, whereas backs need more relative strength and repeated high-intensity ability. Overall, it's a well-balanced physiological profile and is essential for success for being in rugby. Next, we have the biomechanical demands. National Rugby League players perform frequent acceleration, deceleration, cutting, jumping, landing, and repeated collisions. Key movements include shoulder-driven tackling with high eccentric loading on the neck, shoulders, and lower limbs, ball carrying with powerful triple extension, and scrummaging or rucking, where players must maintain optimal hip, knee, and trunk angles under compressive and shear forces. High rate of force development, eccentric strength, and trunk stability under fatigue are all critical. These demands directly inform our training choices, such as heavy compound lifts for contact force and plyometrics for explosive tackling power. As we move into injury analysis, National Rugby League has a high injury incidence, especially during matches. The head and the face are the most common sites for injury, with concussion being the leading injury. Knee injuries cause the greatest time loss, followed by hamstring, ankle, and shoulder injuries. The primary mechanisms are tackling or being tackled, accounting for over 50% of all injuries, along with direct collisions. Sprains, strains, contusions, and fractures are all the most frequent types. This profile highlights the importance of neck strength, proper tackling technique, eccentric training, and smart load management to keep players on the field. Now let's look at our hypothetical 25-year-old rugby athlete. 180 centimeters tall, 102 kilograms heavy, forward profile. I've compared his results directly to the elite male National Rugby League benchmarks from Bonassi's 2018 paper in the Journal of Australian Strength Conditioning. His one repetition max back squat of 190 kilograms, which is around 1.86 times his body weight, and a bench press of 135 kilograms sit comfortably within the recommended ranges of 170 to 200 kilograms and 120 to 140 kilograms. His 10-meter sprint of 1.68 seconds, his 40-meter sprint of 5.2 seconds, and sprint momentum of 612 kilometers per meters per second are all strong. His 5-10-5 change of direction time of 2.34 seconds is right at the elite forwards benchmark, and his change of direction deficit of 0.66 seconds shows excellent isolated change of direction ability. His center of mass jump height of 45 centimeters actually exceeds the recommended 35 to 40 centimeters for forwards. However, two clear weaknesses do stand out. His eccentric utilization ratio is only 1.12, lower than the typical improvements seen from the off-season to preseason, and his reactive strength difference between center mass jump and squat jump is just 5 centimeters. His 30-15 of 18.3 kilometers per hour is also slightly below the recommended 18.5 to 19. These assessments are highly valid and reliable when standardized, with strong ICC values reported in the literature, so our program will target reactive strength, stretch shortening cycle efficiency, and repeated high-intensity running capacity. Based on those weaknesses, here are 3 SMART goals for the specific preparatory period. First, increase the eccentric utilization ratio from 1.12 to at least 1.25, and the reactive strength difference from 5 centimeters to at least 10 centimeters within 6 weeks. This will improve stretch shortening cycle efficiency for faster ground contacts and better leg drive contact. Secondly, raise the 30-15 from 18.3 kilometers per hour to 19 kilometers per hour or better. This will enhance recovery between high intensity efforts and help him maintain performance late in matches. Third goal, maintain his excellent center mass jump height of 45 centimeters while improving power to body mass ratio. This will keep his explosive power elite while supporting his forward body mass. Each goal is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound, and also directly addresses the demands of the National Rugby League. Finally, here is a sample program designed to hit those 3 SMART goals. For goal 1, reactive strength and stretch shortening cycle, we use depth drop jumps to train minimal ground contact time and Nordic hamstring curls with a slow eccentric tempo to build resilient hamstrings and improve the stretch shortening cycle. For goal 2, repeated high intensity capacity, we program 30-15 IFT style shuttles with active recovery and light sled sprints to mimic the repeated accelerations and collisions seen in matches. And for goal 3, to maintain power, barbell back squats at 82 to 87% of our 1 rep max, build power and strength, while trap bar jump squats develop explosive intent at lower loads. All prescriptions are in the specific preparatory period with appropriate volume, intensity, rest, and velocity or tempo. These exercises will drive the exact adaptations we need: improved neural drive, eccentric strength, and anaerobic capacity, ultimately giving the athlete better contact dominance and late game fatigue resistance in the National Rugby League. To wrap up here are 3 questions I'd like to ask my University of Sydney exchange partner. First, how do Australian National Rugby League programs periodize neck strength and tackling technique drills to reduce concussion risk while still building dominant post-contact performance? Second question, what unique repeated effort conditioning methods or technologies do National Rugby League teams use to stimulate and simulate the high collision plus running demands that differ from typical non-contact training? Third question, in your experience, how do strength conditioning priorities, especially power versus aerobic emphasis, differ between National Rugby League forwards and backs? I don't really know much about this sport, and I'm really curious about these practical applications that weren't fully uncovered in my needs analysis. Thanks for watching. I look forward to the exchange.